TP2, Energy Flow and the Rule of 10%. Learning target. I can identify in a food web the transfer of energy and matter between trophic levels, Rule of 10%, and be able to explain what moves between the levels, matter and energy, and what happens to the rest of the energy/matter, i.e. the other 90%. Again, ultimately, the skill is what we're looking for. You can use your knowledge of food chains/webs, energy and matter flow to create a visual model to explain how they work. Let's explore. Each step on a food chain represents a different trophic level, which is an organism's position within a food web: producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. In this activity, we will look at the transfer of energy between each trophic level. The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only converted into different types of energy. Below are two diagrams that show the transfer of energy within a food chain. What do you notice? How does the amount of stored energy change between each trophic level? We have an energy pyramid. We have producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. Again, another pyramid. We have heat, leaving, decomposers, light energy, all the way up. Work time. Now that you know all about energy pyramids and the 10% rule, it's time to apply that in an ecosystem you live in. For this project, you'll be creating a visual energy pyramid for a food chain in your local ecosystem. First, consider the environment you live in. Is it a desert, a indigenous forest, a tundra, or somewhere else? Next, use a reliable internet source to learn about your local food chain. Reliable sources include websites from the government, universities, encyclopedias, or science organizations. Once you've learned about the food chain, it's time to create a visual representation of it in an energy pyramid. Be sure to include the relative percentage of energy at each level, and also be sure to include the primary producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, and tertiary consumer in your food chain. Reflection questions. Reflect on these questions below to demonstrate your current understanding of energy flow within an ecosystem. Write your responses on the document you create with your model. Number 1. Where do you think most of the energy used by organism originates from? Number 2. What can you tell us about the amount of energy transferred from one trophic level to the next? Number 3. Reflect on what you know about the law of conservation of energy. Based on the diagram shown above, what do you think happens to the rest of the energy? And number 4, the second triangle also shows us the number of organisms deceased in each trophic level. Why do you think this is? What is different in each trophic level? And here's your rubric, your grading criteria,